This is why the Duke Blue Devils will win the 2025 National Championship basketball game. Welcome back to the Hub Digital, where we talk all things sports. However, today we're going to touch on why Duke is going to win the national championship. Now, this is going to be a new little series that we're going to start here on what the ceiling is for every college basketball team going into the tournament and what the chances are to reach that ceiling. And obviously, starting out with Duke, Duke's ceiling is probably the highest out of all teams right now. I believe they're the favorite to win the national championship. If not them, then it's definitely Auburn. And it's really a two-team race right now. We got a couple of other teams up there. Iowa State, Houston. You could throw a couple of other teams like Florida and Alabama in there, but none are really in that conversation with Duke and Auburn as of right now. Now, you may be asking, why is Duke the favorite to win the championship? And it's simply because they are the most talented roster in the NCAA. And it's not really just their talent, it's their height, it's their defense. There's a lot of attributes that are accounted for with this Duke basketball team besides just putting the ball in the rim. But it mainly points at their height, their talent, their athleticism, their defense. And their secret weapon is Isaiah Evans. Mark it down here right now. Isaiah Evans is going to have a game or maybe even two in March Madness where he goes for 30 plus, maybe even a 40-point game. And it's really going to save them. I mean, he is their savior this year. Go back to the game where Duke played Auburn, actually. Duke and Auburn were in a tight, close battle until the 9-minute mark maybe, and Isaiah Evans came out and just started firing up threes. And once one goes in for him, he has the highest confidence in the nation and just in the game because he's not going to miss another one. Now, of course, you can't forget players like Cooper Flagg and Con Nipple, but there's also another secret weapon they have, and that's Malik Brown. So if he gets healthy, it's really up to if Malik Brown and Tyrese Proctor come in fully healthy to March. I don't see a way that they lose this tournament this year. I mean, it's been a fun season to watch them, and it's going to be a fun March as well. But if we're being completely honest, a healthy Duke team, especially with the way Isaiah Evans is playing and Tyrese Proctor, when he gets the ball in his hands, is playing, there's not really a good way to beat this team. I mean, we can talk about Cooper Flagg. Everybody knows Cooper Flagg is gonna just get his regardless. He can go out there and get 19 points with his eyes closed, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. But I mean, it's not him that makes them the favorite to win the national championship. It's the fact that he is the best player in the nation, and everybody on the team too is unstoppable. I mean, you have Con Nipple, who's not gonna miss an open three. You have Isaiah Evans, who's not gonna miss a three even if he isn't open. You have Malik Brown, who's gonna lock down every player on the team 1 through 5, regardless of who he's guarding. You got Common Maluak, who's 7'2", he locked down the paint. I mean, there's so many ways this Duke team can beat you. And let's not forget about Zion James, who's really been a forgotten hero for this team. I mean, it's not like they need to go to him, but let's not forget that he was a 1,000-point scorer at Tulane, and he's had flashes of showing it, especially when he gets angry. I mean, you can point to games like against they went on the road to Louisville, and he had a solid showing there, and he really puts his athleticism on display. I mean, he's a 6'6" point guard. He's 2-something. He's very strong. I want to say he's like 205. I mean, he's built like a linebacker. Nobody one-on-one can guard him, and I want to say he's like the 6th scoring option on this deep Duke roster. You got, again, Con Nipple. Con Nipple is really the unsung hero when it comes to playmaking. People don't realize that Con Nipple is a 6'7" guard who can see the floor, shoot from everywhere, knock down shots consistently. He gets rebounds. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to put my money on Con Nipple to be the first on the floor every single night, regardless of who they're playing. They could be up by 40. He's still diving after every loose ball. I mean, Con Nipple is that player that you just can't put on the bench, which is why Isaiah Evans hasn't started a healthy game, like when Duke has a healthy lineup, because Con Nipple, you just can't take him off the floor. He does so much other than make just threes. And that's really why people have been looking over him too as well. And then also, like I touched on earlier, you're also starting to get contributions from elsewhere too. Pat Gongba out of nowhere has started to get minutes, and I mean we see that he's a reliable source off the bench. So it's not like they're short on the bench either. They have a 7-foot Pat Gongba coming in, and let's not forget about Caleb Foster. Caleb Foster is still a star. He's gonna be a star one day. He's gonna get to the NBA one day. Yes, he's been in a slump, but we can never count him out either. He's starting to find his role a little bit, but even without his confidence, without a shot there, you don't really have to rely on him for any buckets. I mean, you have Tyrese Proctor, who's been playing out of his mind this year, and he's been really the solid point all season, the most consistent point all season for Duke. Whenever you need a bucket, I mean, he's had buckets, huge buckets down the stretch, especially against the Clemson game that they lost. I mean, they came out short in that game, but I mean, Tyrese Proctor had a game. I mean, he's had hundreds of games throughout his career where we can just look at and just see the clutch factor. You have a player you could just go to when you need a shot in Tyrese Proctor. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I want to give a big thank you to all the subscribers so far. We're going to have a lot more content coming at you all, especially with March on the way. There's going to be a lot of tournament breakdowns. I'm going to try to have a tournament team breakdown for every single tournament team this year, all 68 teams in the field. So if you would like to, leave a like, leave a comment, let us know what teams you want to see next, and thank you for watching.